Hey Aquarius, welcome to your June reading. I am just going to jump straight into shuffling and laying for you. Interesting. I'm using 3 new decks this month. I got them for Mother's Day, well, 2 of them. One of them I got for Mother's Day for my mom. I actually ordered a different deck to what I received, and it turns out the name of the deck was titled correctly online, but the imagery that I was kind of looking at and thinking, this is a good vibe for my mom, is not the deck that came. So I opened them, I was all intrigued, like, okay, let's have a look. Obviously I believe that all things kind of happen for a reason within reason. And when I opened them and had a look at them, it was my tarot deck here. They just felt right. They felt like these need to be mine. They're very different to my usual aesthetic and what I would go to naturally. So I do think, it was meant to be. That card is flying out. Interesting. It's a very you card, Aquarius. You might take offense to that when you learn what it meant, but I didn't mean it in a nasty way. It just instantly made me think, yeah, Aquarius. My brother is Aquarius. Let's see what else we've got. So yesterday when I was recording the later kind of videos that I uploaded, the water signs and the beginning of air, so Libra, it was windy. My background was all over the place. My hair was in my face. Where am I going to put these? I'll put them there. And I was battling the elements yesterday. It was very, very cold as well with that wind. Luckily today the weather is blessing me a lot nicer, so I can finish up these videos for you guys. Okay, let's begin. New beginning in reverse, Lady of Air. This is paired with the healing tree of Litha. Let's have a look. So first off, I feel as though you have really been kind of coming into this new chapter for yourself. I do feel like this is sort of saying, hey, you're still in this new beginning phase, like where you're stepping into this new phase in this next chapter in your life. Definitely listen to the more airy side of things. With me saying that, it's kind of like what I mean is like be willing to change and flow with what comes to you. Not like water where we just flow and kind of allow it to take us where it's going. Air is a lot more in a way in control, but kind of willing to change. This is like the natural essence in a way of the element of air, is willing to change and flow in the way that kind of directing their power to where they want to bend and change. Yeah, and I feel like with you it's like flowing that way into this new beginning. So this could mean like, you're going in one direction and something comes to your attention and you realize like, no, I don't want that anymore. And I do feel like it may very much be like with this paired with the healing tree of Litha, it may very much be healing moments, as in something from your past may be triggered into acknowledgement, and this means we need to move away from that energy because we don't want that energy in this next chapter, in this new life that you're creating. And it does feel kind of new lifey when I say this next phase and chapter. I am going to bring out a few crystals. The breeze picks up a little bit. I don't want to lose any of these cards and also not know what to guide you with. And I do feel as though you are going through this, and you've been going through it some time, of releasing and letting go of old patterns. The astrology is doing this for all signs and for everybody, but just for you guys, I feel like you really are in a way taking your time to shed this skin, which I do think is needed for you, like in a more vulnerable approach. So I feel as though now less hard times but more productive times. So anything that does sort of hurdle, you are prepared to take it on in a way where you're listening, you're approachable, but realize that you are healing. So it's like when we are going through healing things, sometimes it can feel uncomfortable and icky. Again, the astrology is saying to flow with that, trust in that, that if you're feeling uncomfortable, you're feeling fears and nerves, this usually means you're on the right direction, and that's the way you should take. I do feel like Aquarius, you naturally are risk takers, and kind of do power through. Again, like the air sign energy, you will put your power into something that you desire, and that is what I'm seeing it coming and flowing in a very positive way, as long as you stay aware I feel like being actually aware of where you're channeling your energy, because again, you can be very powerful when you do that. However, I do think naturally, especially this past year when I've been doing readings for you, you allow yourself to kind of allow the coping mechanisms, the things that make you feel good, which are not good for you, is where you would channel it, rather than thinking, hang on, this is not going to get me to where I actually want to be. So that's the kind of thoughts processes I kind of want you to change. Now, I do feel like you are still in that kind of me kind of phase of healing, where we feel wounded and we may potentially have the potential of feeling like everyone's doing you wrong, like everything happens to you. And when we're in that mindset, again, the look sort of goes the same way. And I do feel like that's changing, but again, it's conscious awareness of our mind and how that's reflecting out into our world. We start off with the Four of Pentacles, which can be quite a selfish, greedy energy to be in. I'm just going to get a read on this. I do feel as though, it's like you want more than what you have, as though nothing you do have is quite enough. I do feel like this, again, it's this healing period where we're going through, where we have to strip ourselves of things that we don't want. And I do think that this kind of energy obviously is not what anybody wants, but I feel like for you, actually that you might feel like this drive within yourself isn't a good attractive trait for you, but also it's kind of like your basic instinct at this point. A lot of what's coming up, especially for water signs, and again, if you do have water in your chart, head over, especially if you have Pisces, because I felt like Pisces was very much about really going in and going deep. But it's like seeing I've lost my trail of thought a little bit with that one, but it's like seeing our things that we might see as our bad things, as realizing that they are perhaps, again, coping mechanisms that have got us as far as we are today. However, these things that are our fight and flight responses, where we are today and the life that we have now, we perhaps don't need those things that served us so well in the past. And that's where we come into problems. It starts affecting our relationships, our relationship with how we see ourselves, and, other aspects of our life. And so this is where it may bring those things to attention, where you might feel the unhappiness. And it's realizing, again, that you need to leave things behind that don't serve you anymore. Again, be kind to yourself, because they did serve you for a purpose, and there's reasons why these became your armor. And going through that kind of thing, we can beat ourselves up about it, which I do think has been a struggle for you, again, in previous readings that I've done for you. The next card is Five of Swords, and in a way it's kind of like leaving the past in the past, and moving forward and taking only with you with what you need. But make sure you're not taking, again, things that served you then forward with you, kind of as though they are your armor or your battle weapons. It's like carrying something with you that's helped you through the hard times. I really don't feel like it serves you anymore. But again, this is a shedding. I keep getting shedding coming to me. Of something, and so again, discomfort and icky feeling is what I'm getting. I hope that makes sense. Four of Swords next, so definitely a healing period. This is giving me the same. It is directly under the healing tree of Litha, literally how it's laid in front of me. So I feel as though this is very connected in the healing. They're both laid down. They're both healing from something. Now, again, they've been through a lot, and it's got them to where they are today. But I do feel, again, there's this feel like you need to protect your energy yourself. Again, do that, protect your energy, and definitely I would say cleansings, like again, when salt scrubs when you're showering, or salt in your bath, again, just clearing and cleansing your aura and making sure that your energy protection is up. However, I feel as though, again, relaxing, taking time to yourself and doing what you need is definitely beneficial too. But also, I just feel as though you are on a kind of defensive point still, and I feel like you don't need that now. This is a time of rest and recovery, not a time of defending yourself. And be wary of being prideful. That Four of Pentacles can be being prideful. And if you are coming up with conflicts, I would say be wary of being too prideful, because again, it may drain you as well as make the situation kind of toxic. It does when one person's being too prideful, too stubborn, and not acknowledging their part in something, or again making someone else feel as though it's their problem. It drains ourselves and our own energy as well. And yeah, that has that effect of making you have to stay in this defensive point, which is not what your energy is calling for right now. It's calling you to rest, relax, heal, and again do things differently to how you have previously. We have the Page of Cups after that, and the Page of Cups is a really good card, I feel, for accomplishing goals, and actually it's like taking the steps towards rebuilding something actually for you, is how I'm reading this, which is different to how I've read it for the signs this month, but I feel as though you are prepared now to kind of take action. But again, remember that you need to be changing the way you do things, and again taking care of your needs through this, and this is doing things differently. You're ready to take on new challenges and different ways of being. Again, your emotional self is something to pay attention to, but I feel again by doing this, by being self-aware, you are kicking goals and reaching up. It's like climbing up that mountain towards your success, because you are in a better position emotionally, even physically, like all rounder, better in yourself, which is enabling you to actually successfully get your abundance that you desire in a way that you haven't previously. So I'm kind of loving this, Aquarius. Next we have, Set Up, Lady of Fire, and Yule's Night. Definitely feel as though it's not a time for you to be aggressive and passionate and forceful with anything. Step Up would be that if it was in the right position. It is in reverse, so I feel as though you need to allow others to take control for a little bit and have their own power. I feel as though sometimes maybe you are overpowering in this sense, and it's time for you again to do things differently and allow collaborations, allow other people to play an active role in your life as well, rather than you just being this leader and other people play their part, but you're just center of attention. And I mean, for me, my general rule of what I advise people is you are the leader of your own life, but sometimes we can be so much so that we don't see the bigger picture and allow other people again their leadership in their life, because can be so dominating. I'm not saying you are, I'm just using this as an example. So here I feel like the Lady of Fire is saying cool down a little bit. Again, this is similar to what I was feeling over here. It's time to rest, reflect, and not necessarily push and force. I do feel a lot of reflecting with this energy, especially with this Yule's Night. Again, it's calm, it's peaceful, it's serenity, and paired with this Lady of Fire, it really does look contradictory, in even the way they look. You might be able to see the lighting is not too great sometimes, and I can't fully see what you see because of the lighting on my side. Yeah, they're very contradictory cards, so it's giving me more peaceful vibes and listening to your kind of inner guidance and the guidance of others. I just keep getting others in this, as though other people are just as knowledgeable and sometimes even more have these glimpses of wisdom that you need to hear. So it's about listening and again allowing others to shine a light in your world as much as you do in theirs too. I feel definitely collaborative energy in this, which is cool. And yeah, we start with the Lovers. So this could be a relationship as well. It could be a very good indication that if you do take I want to say like a high ground, but that makes it seem as though you're being like, I'm right, you're wrong. I mean, if you take a place where you allow room for your partner to listen and acknowledge them, I do think it's very easy for us to realize how something affects us and really want to get that point across. And this feels like being a bit more empathetic and warm and realizing their space in this, and helping them to feel important in this relationship as much as you are. But this is a very good card, a great position to have this. I feel as though this is success in terms of collaboration, coming together of people, and as well, if it is in terms of business, I feel like this is insinuating that it can be successful and very fruitful. Again, allowing others to have their place in this and not you taking control. If you are used to being a boss and you're taking a position where you're not so much the boss, it is hard sometimes to allow others to be that boss, but you have to allow for that, and I feel like that will lead to success for you. Yeah, okay, so the next card is the Nine of Swords, so it definitely can feel as though you're taking on too many burdens. This is very mental aspect, so you may be feeling, again, sometimes when we do allow others to take control, it can be hard for us and mentally draining because we want to just do things our way and just get it done, and we do things differently, and sometimes how someone else has to do something, because we all kind of have a different mind and different way of doing things, it can put us in this place where we're like, I can't, I just want to do it my way. But I do feel like saying, realize that you need to take care of why you feel that way and why you are programmed to feel that way, and maybe not allowing other people that space, because again, this is injuring you, not other people. This is sort of saying like you need to take time to work on those things within yourself, because again, it's impacting you and your life. And this feels very much like up here I'm like for the benefit of others, but here I'm like for the benefit of you. It is definitely in your interest to realize that this could be a stressful time, and this is the discomfort and wiggles as well, that I'm feeling over here. It's like saying it's uncomfortable, and it comes with changing the way that you have done things or the way you process things previously. Follow your dreams in reverse. I'm reading it upside down. Dreamlike. And the Witch's House. Interesting. So instantly I'm kind of thinking there could be some kind of change, big change in terms of security. So change of home, change of career, changing a path. I definitely feel as though change is a key thing for you, Aquarius, for June. As though you need to be looking for change, seeking changes. With this follow your dreams, I do feel again it's a time for you to be in a space where you are more reflecting than jumping into anything else. It's like allowing yourself the time to prepare, and I feel like I'm getting the sense of maybe rushing into things previously or wanting things done quicker than they are. And I do think that you can have all of the things that you desire, but realizing the pace of which maybe you try and rush to that success, when good things come to those who wait is more of the approach here. And that realization that, it is true. Those that have put time into it are in a much better place than I am now in the same sort of area of life that is personal to you and your independence and your freedom. I would say maybe a move on the rise. The Witch's House to me is insinuating it's kind of a home that feels authentic to you, the kind of home and lifestyle that you would dream to live. And paired with this, I would say, as in keep that goal in sight, and manifest that. I do again get this sense of you being in your element, in the sense of wherever it is that you're going is authentic to you and really does have this ability to be very fruitful and abundant for you. So that again is in any area for yourself that you feel is the priority. So if this is in relationship and love, I would be saying that that's easy in sight if you do all of this, what I've already said, taking your time, listening, being empathetic, allow others to have their space in this, again, be very fruitful, and again doing it differently to where you may have done it before, and changing the way you think, and realizing pride might be something getting in the way. I'm just using this as an example, using the words that I've used so far. In terms of career, it's like keep that vision clear, it's going to go well, and be authentic for you. Do things differently than you have previously. All of what I've just said, just changing what is independent to you. Remember, this is a collective reading, so we use this energy applying to our own situations. The Empress in reverse. So I do think it's a struggle with the dynamic of you not being the one that is enforcing this. And again, so shift and change with things that come up, realizing that how you've done things and being forceful isn't necessarily the best approach. I would say that, again, take care of your own self. The Empress in reverse really can be a lack of self-care, a lack of taking care of your basic needs, and not really feeling present in your life. So again, when we're going through changes and transitions, we can often feel like this, and it is natural and normal. And the way to obviously make that easier on ourselves is to make sure that we are checking in and nurturing ourselves in a way that we would nurture a child or somebody we really care about. You need to apply that to the self as well. I always say to people that the best thing you can do for others is by being what you are to others to yourself first, because again, you are your best friend. You are the only being that will be in your life for your whole entire life. So why wouldn't you care and nurture and love yourself unconditionally? Our final card is the Strength card. This is a really good position. It is again about being compassionate and caring, again for your inner child, for yourself. Um, I do always get the sense with this card, it's about allowing your vulnerabilities to be seen by others, and recognized, and realizing that these in themselves are the strengths. I do feel as though it's like seeing a side of ourselves that maybe we feel is a negative aspect, so we don't show that in the real world, when in fact that is exactly what made us who we are. It's exactly the things that people love about us that we don't realize that that is the case, because we're so in our own heads and so sure that other people think XYZ about us, when the things that you're self-conscious of is what makes you quirky and cute and maybe like a little bit of a mess like we all are. And that's what people really truly appreciate about somebody, is when they're being truthful in that way. And the people that don't are not your people, and they're not meant to be around you. And again, that is a strength key thing to have in your life, is to realize that not everybody is meant to like us, not everybody is meant to be in our lives, in the same way that we're not meant to be liked, we're not meant to be in everybody's lives, and we're not meant to like everybody either. That's the whole point, is that it's the universe's way of saying you don't need this energy, get away from it, don't worry, stop wasting your time with that. And I do feel like this is the major changes that you're bringing to your life to live more authentic right now, and again towards your dreams. I really feel like this is you really working towards something, and actually this whole reading feels very productive. I feel like for some time last year you were not moving anywhere, and this was frustrating for you. Now there's movement, there's a lot of movement, and now the difficulty, it's not really difficult, but you know how I'm just wording it, the difficulties are the discomfort, are the changes, is the fact that things are moving now, and that's awesome, but also sometimes it can be scary. So feel the feels and process them. Thank you so much, Aquarius, for being here. Please subscribe to my channel to keep up to date with any future readings. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you next month.